I need a t-shirt that says, I just survived the shopping pandemic of 2020. Now, granted, Chris and I have a full pantry. We could live out here in the middle of nowhere for a long time. We're fine. But I just thought, well, since there's this state of emergency, that I would pick up some regular oil, because we got a big, huge thing of popcorn. And I didn't want to use olive oil because I wasn't sure how hard olive oil is going to be to get. And that's our oil of choice. I'm sorry it's so dark in here. I don't know why it is. So, anyhow, the place was a mad house. Like, if the coronavirus was going to spread, it would spread at our local grocery store. It was insane. So I just kind of picked up what I needed and got out as quickly as possible. However, I did really want some bologna and white bread. And I'm getting ready to tell you this story of the bologna and white bread. And there's no bologna on the shelf. For the love of all that's good, they took all the bologna. People will survive the virus on bologna sandwiches, I guess. Which might not be a bad idea. So anyhow, here's just bologna sandwiches are my comfort food. Whenever I feel a little bit stressed, my go-to is bologna on really soft white bread with a little bit of mustard. And when I was 4, we lived in this tiny little community in West Virginia, which West Virginia has no virus, by the way. Just saying. I lived in this tiny little community. Actually, it's kind of where the area I grew up. But for this particular year, we lived in a little unincorporated mining town called Katy. And Lincoln just wants to photobomb. Lincoln, you're going to have to behave. Just stop. Give me a kiss. Thank you. And I was 4, and my home church, the one I keep going back to, is right there in Katy. But anyhow, the flu hit that year really bad. And my parents were both in their 20s. So here we are out in this tiny little community. And they were too sick to get out of bed. They were running fevers. They were throwing up. They were coughing. So here I am, this 4-year-old child, kind of on my own, and my parents, one of them would groggily say, "Go make yourself a bologna sandwich." And so I knew how to open the door. I knew how to open the bread. I knew how to open the bologna. I think, though, bologna didn't come. I think it was before my bologna has a first name kind of deal. We used to have it in these wrapped packages, kind of like butcher paper. They would slice it for you. And so I would make this sandwich, and I ate them like 3 times a day until people from the church would like put food on the doorstep. They'd knock on the door and they'd say, "Now don't open the door, Lenny." That's what they used to call me at church. "Don't open the door, Lenny," because until we drive away, but they would leave food for me. And it was just a wild time. But I'm sitting here thinking, how many 4-year-olds now could know how to go through those processes? Like, okay, I know we live in a different society, and there's bells and whistles on the refrigerator doors so we can open and not open them, and half the time you can't even reach them because the freezer's on the bottom or whatever. But, you know, those are things we have to kind of plan for. If both of the parents get sick and you are too sick to get out of bed, let's leave some stuff down that your children can eat, that you know they're going to survive on. I mean, I knew how to drink water. We always kept a a water jug in the refrigerator, and that was usually the drink of choice. You drink water or you drink water. There you go. I knew how to fix a bowl of cereal in the morning. But these are things that we need to think about during this time. I mean, you know, I, for one, wouldn't want to go into the doctor unless I absolutely had to. I think if you can take care of yourself at home, that's the better side of doing things. You don't want to infect anybody else with this disease. Virus. Does it remind you of Stephen King? What was the movie, It? Or the book? I don't know. So anyhow, just be a Boy Scout about all this. Be prepared. Have a game plan in your head so when something happens, that game plan is already in place. If XYZ gets sick, this is the game plan. This is the mode that we go into. If we get quarantined inside our home, here's our meal plans. Be aware of what you have in your pantry. Hopefully the internet will still be up and you can look up depression cooking, because while it might not be a gourmet meal, there's some really good ideas out there. As a matter of fact, one thing I did buy at the grocery store this morning was cabbage on sale for 19 cents a pound. So we'll be eating a lot of cabbage the next few weeks. So anyhow, am I scared that I'm going to die of this virus? No, I'm not. Fear is not of the Lord. You know, He orchestrates my days, and I can rest easy in that. But I also know, in the Old Testament, what did He tell Joseph? You know, you're going to have 7 good years and 7 bad years. And not only was Joseph able to take care of the people he was in charge of, he was able to help others. And we just saw God's hand of providence over that whole situation. So, be prepared. Be prepared with food that if you have young children, they're going to be able to either eat on their own, or 2, you're going to be able to fix very quickly if you're not feeling well. Because younger children are not really prone to all this. And if push comes to shove, you can always move to West Virginia where they don't have any cases. So, as far as my life goals are concerned, that I mentioned last week, the 62 and 62, I've continued to listen to the audio Bible chronologically. I'm reading a book audibly. I'm not reading one physically. And that's pretty much all I've gotten done. Although I did, my friend Mel mentioned visiting some state parks. So I put that on the list. And then another YouTuber is planting a bunch of different flowers that he had never planted before. And I think I'm going to try to do that if I can get my hands on some seeds. So anyhow, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Be safe, everyone. Be smart. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. There's no reason. It's all good. We're all going to be fine. We're all going to come through this on the other side. Give us a thumbs up, and I'll catch you on the next video.